I've been wanting to talk about this video for years. There's nothing that has messed me up more socially than being part of the red pill. Now, when someone joins the red pill, it's not something they do just out of curiosity or they get rejected by one girl and now they're part of the red pill. It all starts from childhood. And in this video, I'm going to talk about my own personal story and maybe somebody will get a better understanding of how someone joins the red pill. I'm also going to talk about how I let go of it at the end. So for me, growing up, dating was never a conversation. And one thing is, I didn't grow up around any father, didn't have any real stepfather, I have no big brother. The only uncles I had were also old, so there's really no man to teach me anything about dating. And if there ever is mention of any girls, I would always feel awkward about it because it just didn't feel comfortable. What this would mean, whatever I wanted to learn about dating or the opposite gender, I'd have to learn on my own. Now, since I have no immediate family or some type of mentor, I could also ask friends, right? Just see what they're doing. And the thing about that is, I've never really had any friends who knew what they were doing as well. So we were all just kind of clueless and just winging it, see if we get anything out of whatever it was we were doing. Throughout the entire time I'm in school, it's like, yeah, I have little crushes here and there, but I literally have no idea how to talk to them. And when you're like a little kid in elementary school, that kind of works because y'all don't know anything. You're just kids doing, just being kids. When you start getting around that middle school age, and the puberty starts coming in, and all the hormones are all different, then that's when it completely changes. And around this time, like having that, because I still had a kid mindset when it comes to dating, but I just I just didn't know. So I just freeze up anytime I would try to talk to a girl, and of course it would just go nowhere. Now, in teenager age, now people are getting more active, and I still don't know what I'm doing. And my friends, it's like some of them might be around some girls here and there. They might have like a girlfriend for like a month or so, but it never really crossed my mind like what are you doing, like how you know. And I never really had friends that would ever try to hook me up with anybody either. So I just kind of just stayed single because there was no one helping me out. And like I said, they hardly knew what they were doing themselves. So my entire foundation with girls is I know nothing other than I'm attracted to them. And by this time, yeah, I might have done like one or two things here and there, but that was just sheer luck. Like I couldn't believe anything I did even happened, but it was never anything significant. So around the age of, I'd say 15, because it was 2018, so I was 15, sophomore year. Something happened, one rejection too many, and I was going to take it. So I'm looking at the internet. See, this is where it really starts. Because if you have no advice in real life from anybody, in the modern age, you're going to go see internet. And that's what I did. So I'm looking at YouTube videos. I talk to girls. And you just see the cliche nice guy stuff. And then eventually I started seeing some self improvement stuff. And eventually I stumbled upon some red pill stuff. And the red pill resonated with me because they were able to get to that anger that I had. And that's how it is when you're trying to find any truth. There's always going to be some anger involved. And when they play on that, you, you're going to get sucked into it. So I started getting sucked into it. And, then, and I'm just going to say what guys I saw. First, I saw this guy, AMS. And this was like before a whole bunch of people knew who he was. This is way before the red pill ever became mainstream. And he was like one of the main guys that influenced all the other guys. That's the guy that really kicked off this red pill thing for me. And when I was in the red pill, I saw this thing about MGTOW, which is men going their own way. And again, it just felt right. Now, a couple years, I'm into this mindset. I'm into this anti-woman mindset, which is basically misogyny. I hate using that word because people use it loosely, but that's basically what I was. And of course, in this period, it's like I'm still straight, I'm still attracted to women, but now it's getting even worse because now I hate them consciously and subconsciously. So I just don't get anywhere. And that's the thing about developing this red pill mindset is when you're at that age, it really just grows with you. 'Cause it's not like I'm a grown man that can rationalize things like, oh, this is stupid. Like I'm a kid that believes this is the way that I should grow up. So yeah, I have this type of red pill mindset for a couple years, and now I'm watching guys like Steph is cold, and I really think that's it. I never got into this was before Fresh and Fit. They weren't around yet, or they were just starting out. It was him. There's this other guy, MJ Get Right, and not Austin Dunham, and there's a guy FedEx Freakless. These were the Red Pill Avengers. So these were really the guys that I just saw, just kind of stuck with, mainly AMS and Steph is Cold. Now, when did I start breaking away from all this stuff? It was about 2020, and I know that's a funny year because of what I'm about to say. The only way you're really going to get out of this red pill mindset is if you talk to more women, and you have to be open to it. Because I'm, like I said, I'm still straight. I still want to talk to them, but it's like I hate them because of my experiences. So I'm just online and I'm just chatting and I'm just seeing people. There's some women there, and I just start chatting with them. And some were cool people that I like to talk to, and some weren't. And the ones who weren't, they were the ones that bring that red pill thinking back. But the ones who were, they were pretty cool. And the ones who were pretty cool are the ones that wanted me, that kind of made me break that red pill mindset. And it was enough of them. Enough of them for making me think that, you know what, maybe this red pill is bullshit. So I'm just gonna leave it. Now I was angry at the red pill. And this arc, this 2020, 2021 arc where I'm mad at the red pill, but I'm still not healed from it at all. It was very complicated because I'm just riding the fence. It's like alligators or crocodiles. Both are pretty bad. So I'm trying to leave, and I'm starting to really show that I don't like this red pill. And now this is when Fresh and Fit started to come along, and I never liked those guys, and those they made me hate it even more. And I'm like, now this is just actual buffoonery. And again, a lot of people didn't know him around this time, so this was before all the cooning and all the stuff they did. It was just basic. Women are stupid, men are smarter, men get back in the kitchen, that kind of talk. It was just exclusively that. Now, I don't really remember this time period that much because it's something that I just forget about because it doesn't matter to me. But I will say the thing that I said earlier that made me drop this is actually going outside and being around more girls because that's the only way you're going to change. You have problems with girls and you have to fix it, right? So I started doing that, and the red pill thing, it just kind of fizzled out. And I never been on an actual date until I was 18. That's way later than a lot of people, probably pretty much anyone I've ever known, but that's just my experience. And I feel like 18 is better than the age I am now, which is 22. But for somebody who had that mindset and was able to break it when I broke it, I'm glad I did it at some point. Because some people just never change and or they become worse. But I did grow and become better. Now I'm at the point where I've dropped the red pill. I'm out trying to date more girls. Well, it wasn't many, but some or really just one here and there. But the problem is that red pill mindset has been with me for so long, it's still in my subconscious. So if something goes wrong, I am going to revert to that kind of thinking. And it's the subconscious part that really has to go. And that took way longer. It took even longer than I was in the red pill because, like I said, I adopted it when I was 16 and didn't leave until I was like around 18. Still, I'm not a very social person. I am an introvert, and saying I'm introvert, that's kind of a cliche nowadays. But I am an introvert. I don't have a lot of friends. Well, now I don't really have any. So I'm still learning all of this on my own. I do have to just go through trial and error and hope I get better the next time. But again, I'm just not interested in talking to that many people, so that means I'm not going to talk to many girls. So I just gotta learn with the few I come across in like a matter of a few years, because I'm just rarely ever interested in somebody. But yeah, I'm going through it, just trial and error, and I do get better. Like I said, something goes wrong, I go back to that thinking. And I'd say what eventually made me drop it, well, the big thing that made me drop it was actually being able to be in, I guess, a relationship for a short amount of time. This person being in my life is what really allowed me to completely drop this mindset, because what's the point of believing that if I have somebody who's none of what these guys say that women are? Because she is the person that made me see, okay, this is what I want in another person. That she had all the qualities, and it was just a good experience. It wasn't very long, but it was a good while it lasted. So now I actually have some type of idea of what I want in a person. I don't have to just guess, because when you have no experience, you can't develop preferences or understand what it's like to talk to a woman or just pick up things that aren't verbal. You have to just find that out through experience. And now that I know that, and again, this is the first person I was really with, and it was for not a long time, but for me, it kind of was. Now, I'm not really the kind of guy that says you need a woman to change you and pick you up or any of that kind of stuff, but in terms of dating, it's going to take a good woman for you to have a better perspective on them. That's just how this works. Because this was 2 years ago, and now we're in 2025, and I haven't been able to make that happen again. So, do I go back to the red pill? No. Is it because I think women are these amazing creatures that we need to worship? No. Be honest, I'm just kind of at a point where I don't really want to do it anymore. Like for me, dating, it takes a lot of work. It takes more work than anything I've ever done. And there's guys who are good at it. They go out to the world and they make it happen, and that's them. Do I hate them? Do I get mad at them? No, they just got lucky and they're good at what they're doing. But for me, it's just not something I'm good at doing, so I don't really have a reason to do it anymore. I'm not really someone who values companionship like that, just because of my upbringing and the way I am. But that's for another video I'm going to do in the future. Kind of reached a state of indifference. I don't care if someone comes along or not, but if they do and it's somebody that I can really see myself being with, then yeah, we can be together. But now that I'm done with my story, now I want to get into other young men joining the red pill. Now, if you watch the video, you can see that they're not just doing it just to do it. They're doing it because they're struggling, they don't know what to do, they turn to the internet, and they consume bad advice. For being honest, it makes them losers. And I can look back at myself when I had this mindset. It's a loser mindset to have. Now, the advice that I would give to a young man, maybe my past self or whoever is struggling, is just learn from who's good at it. Like that's how you should learn anything. Whatever they're doing, you should probably be doing too. Now, it's not in a way where you copy everything, because a lot of what dating is about is you need your own type of confidence, your own type of charisma, your own character, and all of that. And that's going to look different for every man. And if it's something that you just don't have when you're a teenager, like it makes sense because you're still basically a kid. But this is something you can just develop by improving on yourself, self improvement. And I know that's become a bit of a cliche saying to self improve, but if you're really working on yourself, you're going to have a different perspective when you go into dating, because you just have more confidence. You're not just settling for something and hoping that that person just stays because you just really want them bad, you know. Because when you chase something, it's running away from you, and that's not what you want. And when you're doing that, you're going to come back to the red pill's perspective, where you're going to be angry. You're just going to be never getting any luck. But that's why you do need some level of self improvement, and that's what helped me because I went through years of self improvement, and that's the thing. When I was young and naive, I thought that red pill was going to be a big part of it. And I will say they do say certain things that you should know, but it's just a little bit of good with a lot of bad. And when you're young, you don't know. You just think it's right. All of it is right. But young guys are becoming losers from this stuff. And the solution is not just bashing them and hope they just be like, oh, well, this is bad. Like, no, life doesn't work that way. What they need is somebody to mentor them, someone to talk to them about girls, just whoever can, and that's what's going to make them lucky. I really am kind of empathetic towards these guys because when I was in it, it was just kind of like women are stupid bro talk, and it became, well, women should just go back in the kitchen, and now it's like full on misogyny, and it's just very intense. Like I was never that extreme. I just thought women are stupid because they wouldn't give me a chance. But these guys, like, they seriously hate women, and it's just weird. Now, if you hate them and you want they'll be with dudes, I mean, you can do that if that's what you're into. It's 2025. There's no reason to hide that stuff anymore. But if you actually want to be with them, you gotta know how to understand them. And one of the things I think cause a, that causes a lot of this is that a lot of us were raised thinking that boys and girls are the same, then they can just, and that gender doesn't really exist because we're not really taught about gender. So when they grow up, they thinking it's going to be like that when it comes to dating, but it's not. And for girls, it won't matter because they're going to get picked regardless. But for guys, you really have to understand how to deal with them, or you're never going to be with one. Or if you do and you're naive, there's probably some stuff going on behind your back, and you're not going to know. You're not going to know how to find out or anything like that. You just got to go outside. You just got to go outside, learn to talk to people because it's about social skills. Learn how to not come off as a friend to a girl. Make sure your intentions are romantic or sexual. And that's a lot of things. That's another thing that guys don't grow up knowing. They just think that, like I said, we all can just talk the same and eventually get a girlfriend. Nope, it's different. There's social cues you gotta know, stuff like that. But I'm not a dating guru. This is just stuff that I learned from my own experience, and hopefully somebody can see this and this will help them out. But yeah, that's all I really have for this video. Don't join the red pill or you're going to become losers like I was.